Hi everyone, it's me again. Just carrying on another video about sort of what vinyls I've got and what music I like, and I've been quite looking forward to doing this one because it's includes, I'd say, like most of my favourite bands and then a lot of my favourite records in my collection. It's going to be about industrial music, and I've been looking forward to doing it. I think the other day I was talking to someone and they said, "Oh, what type of music do you like?" And I said, "Oh, I liked industrial music," and they thought I meant that kind of cyber goth club music, you see. And I said, no, I mean classical, 70s industrial music, and they'd never heard of it, you see. So I thought maybe there's quite a lot of people who may not be aware of that as a style, you see, how it started out. And I think industrial music as a concept, it's more of a concept than it is a set style of music. You know what I mean? It's all about themes rather than about the actual sounds. I mean, the musical things that tie all together is, I'd say, the use of electronic instruments in a very avant-garde way, and very provocative themes. A lot of it sort of deals with sort of fascism and violence and sex and pornography and things like that. It's got very, very controversial imagery, topics and themes around it. So, as a concept, though, there's a few bands that sort of coined the term. I mean, it's normally credited to Throbbing Gristle, the term industrial music for industrial people. It was the strapline of their label, Industrial Records. But, having said that, there are a couple of American bands as well who also coined the phrase industrial. And there's one, Pere Ubu, American band from Cleveland, and they used to refer to their music as industrial folk music, you see. And this is Dub Housing. This is their best album from 1978, I believe. And it has got a lot of parallels with the British bands like Throbbing Gristle and Cabaret Voltaire. There's some really, really good sort of very industrial electronic avant-garde wordless songs on it. Really, really bizarre stuff, and there's some really Blow Daddy-O and Thriller on this. This is a really strange album. Very good band if you've never heard them. Very weird. And another band also coined the phrase industrial at the same time was Devo, believe it or not. They used to refer to their music as industrial music for the 1980s, and this album was released in 1978. It's a good record, produced by Brian Eno in Conny Plank's studio in Germany. So this is the odd one out of the bunch I'm going to show you, because this is musically nothing like the rest of these at all. The only thing that I'd say ties it in is, like I said, the use of wacky electronics. But it's good to give them a mention, I think, because I didn't know when they were going to come up in a video, but this is a good time to mention them. So they did sort of co-found the phrase industrial music. Well, like I said before, it's the concept is pretty much attributed to Throbbing Gristle, and that was the name of their label. And they are probably I'd say one of my absolute favourite bands of all time. This is their first album, called Second Annual Report. This is a second pressing of it on. This is on Fetish label. The original one was on their own industrial label, and it had sort of just a plain white cover with a little marking sticker in the corner, and they're very valuable and very, very hard to get hold of. So this is pressed from the same plates though, so it's as close as you can get without spending hundreds of pounds. So this is a very good album. And Throbbing Gristle were predominantly a live band as well. Most of their pieces were improvised live, and this is quite a good introduction to them actually, because all the tracks on this, it's basically a few different versions of only a few songs, just recorded in different locations live, you see. So it's got quite a lo-fi sound to it. It's ever so strange, like really, really wonderful stuff. So that was their first album. Their second album album. This one, Dead on Arrival. This is a reasonably well-known one. I think this is Hamburger Lady this is one of their best pieces, definitely. It had a strange track on it. They had a single 7-inch United, which was included in some releases of Second Annual Report, I think, actually. But they've put it on this, but it's been shortened to 16 seconds long. It's sort of sped up, and it's a bit of a weird little wind-up that I think they've put on deliberately. People have gone, "Oh, United's on this album, I'll buy it." But it's not really, you know what I mean? That's quite a funny little joke. Like I say, you can see from the cover here, it's a bit strange. Like, you know, there's the little girl down here, and this album actually comes with a calendar of a small child, like a pin-up, but it's a child, and so like I say, they're flirting with some quite controversial imagery again. You know what I mean? Sort of you know, underage sex and things like that. They were very controversial band. So it was done deliberately to get a response, though. You know what I mean? That's a good one. And I got my absolute, probably one of my, this is probably, I think apart from Unknown Pleasures, my first pressing of Unknown Pleasures I've got, I think this is probably one of my favourite records in my collection. This is an original first pressing of 20 Jazz Funk Greats. And this is an interesting one for Throbbing Gristle because it's the only studio album they ever did. And like I said, they were predominantly a live band, but this is one, all the songs were recorded in the studio in this. So the quality of the recordings is a lot better, and there's some quite interesting sort of electronic pieces with no vocals and things as well that Chris Carter did. They're a very strange mix of people, Throbbing Gristle. None of them shared any kind of musical leanings at all, and they were a very strange mash of people. They came up with some absolutely wonderful stuff. This is an absolute genius album. If you're interested in classic industrial music, this is the one I'd buy to get into it if I were you. This is an excellent album. I've got it on in the background now, actually. I don't know if you can hear it at all. Just to create a bit of an atmosphere. Another good one to get by Throbbing Gristle is this Heathen Earth. This is a live album. It's got just two big sound pieces over one on each side. It's recorded live in 1980, but it's got some fantastic stuff. This is a good one to get. This isn't an original. This is a second pressing. Was on released on mute. Like I say, originals of this LP go for a lot of money as well. Very valuable. I think it was printed on like a blue, translucent blue vinyl originally, but this is a good one. I like this. I got a good deal on this as well. This was a good bargain. Now the other band I'm going to mainly talk about is Cabaret Voltaire. I think they're for me the other British band that sort of co-founded. I think as a musical sound, that Throbbing Gristle and Cabaret Voltaire were the band that if industrial music has a sound originally, it's that sound. You know, it was all about. They sort of lived in very industrialised factory towns, and they're trying to sort of mimic the sounds of the factories around them and things like that in some way, I think. But anyway, yeah, Cabaret Voltaire are a good one, very underrated, and all these bands they're quite cult, a lot of these bands, but they really are fantastic. And this is Cabaret Voltaire's first full album that they released, and this is a really great record. This was an absolute bargain as well. I've got a very good deal on this. It's got some fantastic songs on. It's got that No Escape on, that version of No Escape, as a cover by a punk band, but that version is lovely. It's quite short, choppy sounds, and actually uses a lot of wind instrument as well. Like I forgot to say with Throbbing Gristle as well. The other thing that ties Throbbing Gristle and Voltaire together is they did use a lot of wind instruments. Throbbing Gristle used to use a lot of cornets and trumpets and things. And I think Rich H. Kirk from Voltaire used to play the clarinet as well. But I'd say it was all so heavily distorted and processed that they got some very interesting sounds out of it. So that's a good one. Mix Up, that's their first album, first full album, LP. And they have quite a lot of records, so I've just cherry picked a couple, so I'm not going to go through all of them. This is a really good one as well. This is one of my favourites, Red Mecca. This is they did change their style to a sort of a polished kind of club sound after this album. This is their last original classic industrial sounding album. I think it's their best one. I think they were working up to this record, and then once it was finished, they kind of said everything they had to say with that style of music, I think. But this is a really, really fantastic album. I was reading in Simon Reynolds' book, Rip It Up and Start Again, he described them perfectly. He said, Cabaret Voltaire were great at creating an atmosphere of twitchy tension, and I think that sums them up perfectly if you've never listened to them. That's exactly what it is. Very, you know, very twitchy, lots of twitchy noises. You know, very heavily processed drums, very heavily processed everything, very heavily processed vocals, very creepy robot-style voices and things. Really, really great. So that's a good one. That's their last good album. They have a couple of albums between the two I've just shown you. There's a couple more which I thought I'd leave out to save a bit of time. But I think those are two good ones. As well, there is a very good compilation of their early stuff, and this is really worth a go if you're interested in Cabaret Voltaire, because they had a lot of singles as well that were non-album tracks, and this has got a lot of them on, like Nag Nag Nag, which is probably my favourite Voltaire song, and Eddie's Out as well, which is a 12-inch single. So that's got some really good stuff, and that gives you a very good flavour of what they did. And this is one of my favourite bargains of all time. I think it's the cheapest. There's one for sale on Discogs now of this for £42, and I got this for 99 pence. And it's in wonderful condition as well, so I was really pleased with that. It's one of my favourite bargains I've ever got on vinyls. This is a 1990. Released on Mute as well. A lot of this stuff's released on Mute Records. They come up a lot in my videos, I think, because they produce a lot of the stuff I like. Signed a lot of the bands. So yeah, Cabaret Voltaire, very underrated. Everyone should have a good listen to Cabaret Voltaire if you're interested in sort of post-punk music or industrial music. They're one of the big two for me. And I think another good one, just I'm going to mention briefly, is Neubauten. They're a German band. That was in industrial music in my head. That's it's all found instruments, sort of angle grinders and springs and hammering on bits of drum, oil drums and things like that. And, improvised found music. It's really quite very abrasive sounding music. So say very similar to a lot of Throbbing Gristle. If you like Neubauten, you'll like Throbbing Gristle, and the other way around. So not as much as electronics on it, but very, very good stuff. This is actually a compilation album as well. It's called Strategies Against Architecture. I'm not sure if it says that on the front cover. It doesn't. It's all compiled music from 1980 to 1983, which gives you a really good little taster introduction to them as well. So they've got a lot of material as well, and they're still performing now, I believe. But this is a good one to get, and that's a very strong industrial concept there. Very brutal though, not everyone's cup of tea. There you go. So I hope I haven't waffled too much, and I've managed to kind of get some of my ideas across there. I mean, I was just trying to explain that, say, industrial music is quite an old form of music, and it was sort of created in the very late 70s, that's 1977 to about 1980, which was really quite a weird period. I think my next video is going to be, I think we're going to do one about Kraftwerk as well, because a lot of the stuff there were lots of Kraftwerk, Radioactivity and Trans-Europe Express. They were very industrial sounding noises, a lot of processed vocals, a lot of metally sounding drums, I think I'm going to do a video about Kraftwerk and their famous albums, everything from Autobahn up to Electric Cafe. I'm going to leave out their earlier proggy stuff for the Krautrock video that I'm going to do in a few weeks as well. So I hope that wasn't too monotonous for you, but thanks for listening. Thank you very much.